Well, okay. This is concerning finances and budgets. So this is my computer screen. I think I've got a pretty good view of that there. That's our homepage and it's our website. So I'll just be manipulating through this as we go. I started off with our homepage, and you can see, as you well know, here on the homepage, we have all of our financial transparency and school accountability. So I went ahead and opened a couple of more tabs that we have access to on this one. That is our summary of finances, and that's 2017-2018 school year. And then I also pulled from our website, this is our adopted budget from, let me go back to the top here. It's our adopted budget for 2018-2019, proposed and adopted. You can see where it was approved right there by the Board of Trustees on June 18, 2018. And then we can look through some of those numbers here in just a minute. My approach to budgeting is clearly to find the goals and vision of the district and assure that we are truly pursuing those, and to find that our campus and district improvement plans are real and not just a waste of time. I've been in districts in the past where it was get something on paper to just write down what we're doing and move on with it. But in this district, we use our district and campus improvement plans for the purpose of prepping our budget for the upcoming school year, knowing what the visions and goals are of our school district, knowing what our campus improvement plan says that we are to do, and then spending the money in a way that proves that those goals are important to us, and also achieving those improvements that we set forth in our district through the campus and district improvement plans. So we'll get started here on my thought processes on budget. As a superintendent, I am aware that I don't know what I don't know. So as I go through this and give thoughts on my approach to what I would want to do regarding a budget, I realize that that changes a great deal when I actually get into that seat and get into that chair. I think it was George Foreman who says, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. So knowing that I have a plan, knowing that I have thought processes, but also knowing that those will change when I actually get to a district, depending on how that district thinks and how that Board of Trustees thinks. So I'm going to jump right in here to the summary of finances first and kind of go through those just a little bit. You can see our ADA here's a 971. We're a smaller district. Our district has a little over 1,000 students district wide. So I think as we look at these numbers, that's important to know that we have around 1,000 students. We just passed a TRE a couple of years ago. And as I mentioned in a facilities walk earlier, we spent a great deal of money putting our district into good shape and to assure that our district really shows the community that we value these facilities that we've been blessed to have. So just going on down here, CTE is important to us for a lot of reasons. One is we feel that we spend a lot of time preparing our students for college and post high school, but we also have to prepare our students that will not go to college. And so we take our CTE very seriously. And my thought process on CTE is it should be preparing our kids, not just giving them a good time. So if we're teaching them careers, then I want to teach them careers and give them the ability to learn careers, learn in the real world, and have real professionals come in and work with our students. We're working on a career fair right now where we will allow up to, I think we've got around 40 or so folks in different career paths that will come in, and will allow all of our English classes to go through there and meet with a couple of the people that of a career path that they might have some interest in. And so again, I just don't want that career path or that career money to be spent on having a good time and building little ink pens in a wood shop. I want to make sure that they are prepared for something post high school. Technology clearly is something that is important. We instituted a robotics class as well as a rocket class this past year to give our students opportunity to move forward in technology. We have some programming classes that I'd like to implement next year, so we'll see how that goes. Our high school ADA, you can see right here, 326, and prior year refined 972. So that's not really changing that much at all. So refined ADA for this year 971. Prior year was 972. So I had a little bit of a drop in attendance, not attendance, but enrollment. We graduated more than we took in, so that number dropped just a little bit, and clearly that's what's going on there. You can see our full and part-time staff members here. Property values. There's a lot going on with property values right now in this district. The county has not kept up, so the state has stepped in, and there's a lot of political madness going on in the county right now. We are in Kaufman County, but we are on the south side of Kaufman County, which what you know about Kaufman County is that the north side is where Forney is, and a lot of that stuff's going on. South side is Kaufman and us down here in Scurry and Rosser. But our property values have not kept up, and so the state has said we need to get those going. So passed the TRE a couple of years ago, slight change there for the taxes, but now our property value is starting to raise pretty significantly across the district. And what we're hearing is that clearly they're thinking that the school's doing that. Well, as you know, the school's not doing that, but when they raise the property values, there is a benefit to the schools. But right now, our community is thinking that we're raising property values, and as you know, we can't do that. But property values are going up, our income is raising as well. So here's our tier 1. And I think that we are pretty normal there. Bilingual education allotment. We do not at this point have a large group of students who are who need help in language. We just don't have a large number of those students right now. So I think that is going to change pretty quickly. All right. So I think that these numbers are pretty standard. Nothing right here. The Foundation School Fund here, 7.3. And you can see that it lines up right with the LPE and the DP, that all lines up. All right, not much going on with the homebound here or hospital. Fortunately, at this point, we've not had to use that, just a little bit of speech therapy. Resource room, clearly, like all districts, we're using that money. Let's scroll down here to the water calculation details. That's a 7.8, the weighted. Scroll the M&O details here. We are at $1.17, by the way. I know that's the max we can go to, but we're at $1.17. These calculations, you clearly will know what those are. Scroll down through here, transportation, not using a lot of, or any, clearly private. Got this number, this $6,048 for special education transportation. I think that's probably pretty low. We just have one small bus that picks up a few of our students that live in rural areas. So I think that number staying pretty low as well. And at any point that can change, as you well know. And special ed money here being spent. So our total allotment there being $800K. We have a special education director who is very wise about using our money and very wise about making sure that we get the biggest bang for our buck with those kiddos here. Up until recently, our life skills room was all at the middle school. But as some of those middle school students became high school age, we had to institute another life skills room over here at the high school. So we split resources there in regards to that. So we had to do a little bit of cutting back there, but our kids are all served. And then we share some resources between the high school and middle school. CTE, as I mentioned before, is a big deal for us. And you can see that number right there, nice and strong. So to make sure that we service our students, GT, clearly that's our high school All right, so I'm just scrolling through here. It's tier 2 details, M&O collections there, 100K for level 1. Here's level 2 information right here, 184. All right, scrolling through here. Not a lot of information here that's needs to be pointed out. So here's our M&O, basically $2 million on M&O. Total revenue here, just 9.5. All right, scroll down through here. State aid for homestead exemptions. I'm not going to spend any time there. Let's see if there's anything else here we need to look at. Our FSP allotments now and adjustments here. Pretty standard. Build school fund, 230,000. Okay, so that's from the summary of finances. I'm gonna jump right over here to our budget. I'll scroll down here. And you can see our numbers here. Let me blow this up, make it a little bit bigger. There, that probably will be easier to see here. So our total here on our budget here, 9.8. Clearly with 9.5 as our income, pulled a little bit of fund balance. But I think a little bit of this is somewhat deceptive because of our TRE and all the work that we did. But you can see our instruction budget here, 5.5. We did give all of our teaching staff, or all of our staff members across the board actually received raises this past year. And so it's important to our board and to our superintendent to give raises to our staff members, to tell them that we cared about them, but also to make us more competitive in the area, because we found that we were losing staff members left and right that were going just a few miles up the road and making a pretty significant amount of money more, and they could still live in the same place they were living. And so we were losing some great teachers. So we raised that, and now we are very competitive in our area. And so making sure that we can keep those staff members, but also making sure that when we have a spot that becomes available and we start interviewing folks, that we pull from the largest pool, and the largest pool of very qualified and very strong professionals to come here and take care of our kids. So we did raise that significantly in the last year and a half. In some areas, as much as 15%. And it wasn't an across the board percentage. It was depending on the number of years and some of those things as well. So nothing really to jump out at right here, but you can see this number right here, this maintenance here. And so we spent a lot of money this year putting our district, our last 2 years actually, putting our district back in good shape financially, so that number will be high. My approach to creating a budget, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, is to assure that we are doing first what is best for students. And I think if we get buy-in across the board, when we passed the TRE, it was a landslide, because we proved two things. First, that we proved that we care about our students and that we want to do whatever it takes to educate our students. And we bragged about some of the things that are going on in our district, but we also proved that we care about our people. And so by proving that the way that we proved that we cared about our people was to get raises in the hands of our staff. So with our staff getting strong raises, with us spending the money on the facilities, putting facilities in good shape, and adding some additional things that are important to the community, the TRE passed by a landslide. We most of our I think most of our staff members live here in the community, and so because of our staff members being community members as well, when some talk came about giving raises to our teachers and to our staff members, clearly that struck a chord with our community, because not only do they want to take care of our staff members, but it's people that they know, and staff members are voting on TREs. So that was easy, relatively easy to do, as long as we told them that we were spending the money a certain way. There wasn't a great deal of argument. There were just a few folks that came out to argue that, and what we found with those people are their taxes were frozen anyway, and so um, there was a very small um, argument that had any credibility to it, and so it passed very quickly. But my approach to that, creating a budget, is the same as I feel like my current superintendent's is, and that is take care of your people, take care of your facilities, and that will take care of the kids. Ultimately, our goal is to take care of the kids. So to spend the money in such a way, and I don't have a problem with jumping into the fund balance. Our fund balance right now is around $11 million. And so, with our fund balance being as strong as it is, we want to keep it strong. But again, if we need to tap into the fund balance for the purpose of taking care of kids or taking care of facilities, I think that we can do that. And so, we were able to add this past year $500,000 to our fund balance. And then we also added some from our maintenance tax note as well. So we actually added over $2 million this year, but from our income, straight income, we were able to put $500,000 into that as well. So I think it shows that it's important to us that we take care of things the way that we're supposed to. So my approach would be the same as I reach out to my constituents to have them be involved in helping create a budget. I think this district right here is in a good place. Hopefully, when I become superintendent, the district that I go to work for will have a strong fund balance, have a strong support. If not, then I'll have to work to build that as quickly as I can.